Well, it's bittersweet to welcome Susi Elkins back to MSU Today. Susi is the General Manager of WKAR Public Media and Director of Broadcasting at MSU, but she's leaving the station to become Chief Community Development Officer at Michigan State University Federal Credit Union. Susi, always great to talk with you.
It's great to be here with you, Russ.
So just reflect a little bit as you've never worked anywhere else. Your whole professional life has been at WKAR. Reflect a bit as you look back and look ahead.
Sure, I've been doing a lot of reflecting lately, as you can probably imagine. I'll try to make it through this whole interview without any tears because I truly have grown up here. I started at WKAR as a student in their student employment program and never looked back because I love the station. I love WKAR, MSU, this whole community. It's just been a wonderful place to be. And I really think that I learned everything I know from the staff, and particularly the early staff that was here, really gave so generously of their time and their commitment to me. And as I was reflecting, I was thinking of Bill Kinney, who was my first boss, who hired me as the student, and he almost fired me multiple times because I kept oversleeping. I had these early shifts, and finally, out of frustration, he said one day, "Suze, all you have to do is show up. I'll teach you everything you need to know, but you got to show up for me." I'll never forget that because his commitment was so genuine and authentic and real. And I just remember thinking, I never want to let this guy down again. And I worked really hard to make sure that I didn't. And I honestly have used that so many times in my life, like becoming a new parent and not having any idea what to do. I used to say to myself, Suze, just show up. The kids will tell you what they need, but you just need to make sure that you're there for them consistently, and you'll figure it out together. And that's kind of what we've done with all of the staff that have come through the station, the students, the faculty that we've worked with, the leadership that we've had. We all just show up for each other, and I think that's what leadership comes down to, right? You show up for others, they'll show up for you, and so many people have shown up for me. It's just been incredible.
Somebody said once, most of life is just showing up.
Yeah, maybe that's where Bill got it, but it sure has worked for me, you know. If you're not super intelligent and you don't have all the, you don't need to. You just show up and you work with people and you learn from people. And sometimes I think that's the key, is just admitting you don't know what you don't know. And then there's no worry. You just figure it out together.
What would you say are some key accomplishments you're proud of during your tenure, and key accomplishments the station has made under your leadership?
There's so many things that our staff and community have done that I'm so proud of. But in thinking this through, I think it's probably our education services. You know, we often say we're so much more than a TV and radio station, even though that's so cool that we are those things. But there's so much work that goes on behind the scenes in support of the community, and I think the education piece is key. So I came in, my first full-time job here was working with faculty on distance education courses and helping them make sure they could reach students wherever they were in the country or in the world, really. It was so cool, and the faculty were so innovative, and it inspired me to get a master's in educational technology because I could see what technology can do as a tool for education. And during that time, I switched and moved over to the public broadcasting side and really wanted to use my degree and expertise in helping kids and families and teachers. I started producing Quizbusters, working with high school kids and their families, which was amazing. And Beanie Tomber was creating our early childhood education services and working with partners for really young children, leveraging our programming. And what a force Beanie is. And I just wanted to be a part of whatever she was doing. So she was kind enough to welcome me in, and together we just really had this vision for what the station could do in terms of literacy, social emotional development, and we saw the work of the partners and the organizations doing this work within the community, and it was so inspiring to us. So we worked hard together to create education services that we could be proud of, and since then we've have a full department that Robin Pizzo heads up, and I'm just really proud of that. I think that's been really key for us. And Curious Crew is another accomplishment that I'm really proud of. And I think a theme for me has been to use my abilities to build capacity around others that really can change the world. And Beanie and I saw Rob Stevenson as a person who approaches science education for kids in a way that, I was lamenting, it's too bad that not all kids could have a class with Rob Stevenson. And Beanie challenged me and said, well, then make a show. And that was brilliant. And so we created Curious Crew with Rob, and we wanted the kids to be the focus. That's Rob wants the kids to be the focus in their own understanding of science. And so, there are 9 kids that host the show with him, and they have just become family for us. These kids, they're such incredible students, and we've touched so many lives. It's broadcast in markets around the country, and that's something I'm really proud of. Our innovation work with the Next Gen Media Innovation Lab is another piece that I've been really proud of our whole team for just saying we don't really know what the future holds, but we want to have a part in creating something exciting for our community and our industry and for the university. And so let's create this lab and study what broadcasting will be in the near future. So that's really exciting. And the ability to work at the national level and be elected to America's public television stations and the board at PBS and have an impact and make probably teeny tiny contributions overall, but still really important to me and feels good to me, the work that they're doing on that national level for the citizens of this country. It's just amazing, and to have been a part of that is something I'll never forget.
And how have broadcasting and WKAR's mission evolved over the years, and where do you see them going?
Well, I think the really amazing part is that we're coming up on 100 years of broadcasting at WKAR, and I don't think our mission has changed. It's really always been to take the power of our learnings from the university, the power of education, and like I said with Curious Crew, bring it to the people and to all the people. And I think that's what public media is about, is not losing sight of needing to be free and over the air, and to educate and inspire literally everyone. And there's no other organization that has a mission like that. I mean, and so I've been thinking about this. I've had people say to me, is public media even needed anymore? There's so much content out there. There's so much. We can learn about anything. It's at our fingertips. And, my feeling on that is it's wonderful that there's so much content out there. I'm a creator. I love, that there's more than 3 channels. There were only 3 when I was a kid. And so this is a wonderful thing. But to me, it just reinforces the whole reason that public broadcasting was created in the first place, is that there is still no one who's going to create this for free without influence and provide it to every citizen in this country. In rural areas where there aren't large populations, it just doesn't make sense. You're not going to make a lot of revenue. There's no reason to do it if revenue is your core base mission, and it isn't for us. And so to me, I think pushing through all of the noise of all of the content and making sure that the local person at the local level has the information they need to, for instance, vote for the person that they want to be in leadership. I mean, that we really cut through all of the noise to get to really reaching those individuals who need us to be there for them. And so it's pretty exciting that our mission really hasn't changed, and we've just had to evolve. Certainly society has changed, technology has changed, and we've changed in order to make sure we can accomplish that mission, but it really hasn't changed much.
And I think you've already started to answer it, Susie, but what are some both challenges and opportunities you see ahead for your successor?
Well, I think there's no shortage of challenges, that's for sure, but there's also no shortage of opportunity. And I think we're in a moment where we're constantly having to reevaluate what's the best way to meet the moment. And so I can certainly talk about all the challenges there are and will continue to be around funding and resources. But I think those are challenges that anyone is facing in any industry anywhere. Those are always going to be challenges. What I'm more interested in are the challenges and opportunities around the work that we do. So we're in the business of bringing people together when there are so many forces pulling people apart. So we have to really think about, what does this mean for us now? If we are here to bring people together around conversation, how can we best do that given what's happening nationally, globally? we have to work differently in order to accomplish those goals. I think we're in the business of supporting teachers and families, and the role of education and educators is in flux at this point. Used to be there, that was a no-brainer. And now they're really challenged, and we have to be there for them even more than ever. And I think we are as public broadcasters, but our role in education becomes increasingly important, and that's a challenge. But again, like I say, I think it's also an opportunity. And also, the role of journalism has changed significantly, and we're wanting to hold leaders accountable. We're wanting to provide context, and that becomes a challenge when facts aren't agreed upon as they may have been in the past. And really adding that context and going deeper is so much more important now than it's ever been because of all of these other forces at work. And so to me, those are the real challenges of how do you make good on this mission? How do you make good on the whole reason for being for this organization when so many things are in flux and the societal norms are shifting so rapidly? You need to still make sure you're there for folks, but it just looks different and feels different, and that's certainly a challenge.
Let's talk a little bit about what attracted you to this new position you're taking as Chief Community Development Officer at the Michigan State University Federal Credit Union.
Yeah, so many things attracted me to this position, and it would have to be that attractive to pull me from WKAR. As you can hear, I'm very passionate about the work of the station, the work of the university. There's only two organizations in this community that I've been a member of for 30 years, and that would be WKAR and MSUFCU. And we're both very oriented toward community and wanting to make sure that our members are supported and have the most innovative products and services. And I see that in MSUFCU. I've seen it, for decades and been inspired by it for decades. I want to be a part of what they're doing, and it allows me to stretch myself creatively and professionally. I'm able to do that at WKAR as well and have for years, which is why I've always stayed. And I see the ability to continue to do that. But there are just some challenges that I want to approach for myself personally that this role will allow me to do. So I will be president of the Desk Drawer Fund and the foundation, and thinking through philanthropically what does the community need within the pillars of the foundation, and how can I support that work. That's extremely exciting to me, at being a beneficiary at the station of the power that MSUFCU has to really help people achieve their dreams within the community. That's extremely exciting to me. Also, the innovative work that they're doing around their products and services, and the role that work can play for smaller credit unions in communities. It's very similar to how I think about public broadcasters and how the system is only secure when the smallest station has access to resources and is solid within their community. I think the credit union plays that role in supporting smaller credit unions who need to stay strong for their community members. So they play an active role here in this community, but also nationally to make sure that all citizens have access to the funds that they need to make their lives better. So just really inspiring and exciting to me.
So say some more about what your role will be at MSUFCU, some of your duties and responsibilities.
Yeah, I will have a pretty significant portfolio that I'm excited about. So it will include marketing, which means I will support. There's a lot happening in a lot of different areas across the credit union. And so we have an excellent marketing team there. And so I'll learn a lot from them, but I think I'll be able to help provide an umbrella for all of the various subsidiaries and for the foundation, and make sure that we're all leveraging resources across the entire credit union. And that also means I'll have connection to the university, to MSU, which is really exciting to me. And then campus to career will also be part of my portfolio, and that is really connecting student internships. And really, we would really like to build an infrastructure where students are increasingly certainly able to have more responsibilities as they move through their internships and job placement when they're done, and that's extremely exciting to me. I'm obviously a product of the work that WKAR does to support students, and so being able to do that work for the credit union is exciting to me. So the Desk Drawer Fund and managing the foundation, working with the boards that do this work and the team members that are there, I see constantly through social media and everywhere how much every single person, no matter what job they have at the credit union, they love their job, and they talk about that a lot. I think that speaks a lot to the leadership team and to April Clovis's leadership. I mean, the growth that's happened since she's taken over is just phenomenal, and it makes me want to be a part of it and to see what I can do.
Well, Susie, congratulations. You'll be missed at WKAR, but it's great to know you'll still be using your talent and passion in the community at another institution in the area, the MSUFCU, and you're always welcome back to these MSU Today microphones when you've got anything you want to tell us about at MSUFCU, and maybe just some closing thoughts as we wrap up our conversation and you transition from WKAR to MSUFCU.
There's so many people that I want to thank, and it's impossible to name all the names because of their hard work and because the station is in such a fantastic space right now and we have such a phenomenal leadership team. I feel like in good conscience I can go and explore opportunities that are exciting to me and know that the station is in such solid hands. And so I just really want to thank everybody, not only for helping me to learn and grow and nurturing my own professional career, but for seeing in themselves what I see in them and rising to the occasion, supporting our members, supporting this community. It's just been such a phenomenal ride, and I just want to thank all of our staff, past and present, all of our members, all of our partners, our national partners and my peers. And I want to thank you for being so supportive over the years and allowing me to share my thoughts, and also for today. I really appreciate it, Russ. Thank you.
My pleasure. That's Susi Elkins, the brand new Chief Community Development Officer at the Michigan State University Federal Credit Union. And I'm Russ White. This is MSU Today.